Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the Bachmann Berkshires. This most recent iteration of these Berkshires has Econami DCC sound value on board. We're going to take a look at Paramarquette number 1225 and Chesapeake and Ohio Kanawha number 2705. So with that said, let's get started right now. Alright, to unbox this locomotive, just pull a flap at the end, let gravity help you along, and this pulls the locomotive out of the box. There is a plastic sleeve that sometimes gets left behind, and so in that case it has got left behind in the box. This is just a decorative backing. There's also some paperwork in the box as well. As far as paperwork goes, we have the quick start guide, the DCC sound value, several pages of information, functions 0 through 23 listed there. If you want to take a look at that, you can pause your screen. There's a Bachmann catalog ordering paper there, so you can order their catalog. You can also go online to do that. 1 year limited warranty and exploded parts diagram for the locomotive, and on the other page the tender. Look at all those parts, quite a few parts listed there. Alright, back to the locomotive. Simply popping open the clamshell, lifting out the locomotive. That's how you will get it out of the box without any issue. So there you go, out of the box, and let's take a closer look. First, before we go through the 360, I do want to show you some spotting features, differences between the two locomotives and tenders. First of all, the front, the first thing you'll notice is the pilot on 1225. Bachmann does have the correct pilot here, and on 2705 you have a different style pilot, as you can see there. Also, moving on up, you can see this little protective plating here with door access panels here versus on 1225. That's an open area. And the most obvious is probably the headlight mount. Headlight mounted below the smoke box door on this version, and on the smoke box door on that version. So the 1225 also has a number plate below the headlight, where the number plate is above the headlight on 2705. So there are some stark differences. There's more though. As you can see right there from the side, your dome, a boiler or sand dome area here, is swapped. So behind this area on Chesapeake and Ohio, and in front of the area on Paramarquette. So those are some of your main differences between the two locomotives. Alright, taking a look at the actual locomotives, let's go ahead and set 2705 aside as we take a closer look at 1225. And there is some packaging foam here, excuse me for just a second, on that locomotive trailing truck. But you have your white boards, running boards there on the side, and white walled wheels there. Eccentric crank, side rod detail, piston detail, builder's plate, smokestack, and you have a whistle and bell on the front. We already covered a lot of the front detail with the comparison, but you have a coupler cut lever, your Bachmann Easy Mate 2 couplers, the classification lights, which are dummy classification lights, number boards, which also are not lit, and you have your bell here. So going along the side, really nice finish to this. I like the semi-gloss almost appearance. You have your firebox, which has a bunch of little rivet detail, and trailing trucks with white walled wheels. Drawbar with 2 locations, so you can have it close or far away coupled for navigating tighter curves. So you can probably see, especially when I turn sideways, those 2 different places where the drawbar can go into. There is some boiler backhead detail, so let's take a close look at that. And in order to do that, I need to cast some light on it, but you can see the butterfly doors and plumbing, etc. is molded into the back of that boiler backhead. As we move on to the side, you can see a little better some of the plumbing details on the firebox. There's also a lot of plumbing running along the side, as well as those handrails. This side's a little busier than the other side, but we're back to the front here. So that is the 1225. Let's take a look at 2705 real quick. A lot of the same detail, so we'll just be really quick with a 360. All right, as you can see, 2705. Here, we already talked about the differences, but a lot of the same details in terms of features. So we'll just do a quick 360. You can see still your white running boards and white tires. Chesapeake and Ohio on the dome versus Pear Marquette. Dome location we already talked about being different. Headlight location we already talked about being different. Number board location above the headlight versus below on this one, and same detail in terms of the boiler backhead. Now we have both the tenders, only slight differences here that are spotting features, and really just one, and that is this does not have handrails, where that one does have handrails going around the water hatches. This one has more water hatches in the configuration versus that one, which has 3. So that is a difference. And then the coal bunker is just slightly longer, so I guess more than one feature, 3 to be exact. But as we work our way towards the back, other than the actual road name, road number detail, the back looks similar. Coupler cut lever, and here's the other side of Pear Marquette. And then you have your female connectors over here that we just plug up to the locomotive. And as you can see, this front area of the tender is different as well. So it's the 4th difference we found so far with the coal access areas here. All right, we're going to weigh this locomotive and tender. 15.1 ounces for just the locomotive. You add the tender and you're at 1 pound, 4.7 ounces. That's 1 1/3 pound approximately, 20.7 ounces total, and 588 grams. All right, I just wanted to show you real quick a comparison of the further out drawbar setting. So this is to help navigate tighter curves. Now I'll show you the closer one on 2705. And here you are with the closer setting on 2705. All right, we'll fire up 2705 here. Look at some functions so we can see what we get with this Econami sound. That is a SoundTraxx decoder. Limited functions, that's why they call it Econami, but really one of my favorites. You have headlight, which we'll look at in a moment in the dark. Bell is F1. 2 is whistle. 3 is short whistle. 4 is cylinder cocks. 5 is drifting mode. 6 is drifting mode disable. 7 is dimmer. 8 is mute. 9 is grade crossing sequence, I should say, or grade crossing signal. And there's many other functions listed all the way to 23, which is all aboard. You can see that if you pause the functions listing. So several not used in the 0 to 23, but those are the ones that are used. Here's 1225's bell and whistle real quick. So a little different there. And let's go ahead and move this locomotive and see slow speed control here. I had the trailing trucks slightly off track, so we'll go ahead and show you this slow speed control now. About 3 it smooths out of 128 on my NCE Pro Cab. And reverse real quick. Takes about 4 or 5 to smooth out there. Let's take a quick look at the headlight in the dark. So the headlight's very bright. If I remove all the light, it shines a good foot in front of the locomotive, if not more, maybe closer to 2 feet. So the headlight is amply bright. Here's your rear light, and you also hear the reverser engage. When you go into reverse, so that is also amply bright and nicely colored as well. LED, so should last pretty long time. Alright, that's going to wrap up our updated look of the Bachmann Berkshires in both Paramarquette 1225, Chesapeake, Ohio 2705. So I hope you enjoyed the look, saw the differences. If you have questions, be sure to put it in the comments. We'll leave you with a run by of both of these, and we'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.